we have to talk about a controversy related to Andor season 2. And that is Tony Gilroy explains a shocking scene because now we have SA in Star Wars.
69.
And I want to talk about this from the Hollywood Reporter. Andor creator Tony Gilroy explains that shocking assault scene. We're all a product of R. Grape, let's say. Alan, if you would.
Yes. In season 2 of Andor, Disney Plus's critically acclaimed Star Wars series ventures into its darkest territory yet, with a scene where rebel fugitive Bix Kalen survives an attempted SA by an Imperial officer. Creator Tony Gilroy defended the moment as a realistic portrayal of power and brutality in wartime, emphasizing the importance of confronting harsh truths. Despite the controversial nature of the scene, Gilroy revealed that Disney gave no pushback, though clear limits on depictions of sex and violence remain in place.
It's I know the scene. I remember watching that scene. Not necessary. Not necessary. So, I was very surprised at that scene. Alan, what ultimately, look, all you're trying to show is he's assaulted, which she can be, women are tortured in Star Wars. I mean, Princess Leia in the first movie, and it's handled very well. So it's not as if people don't feel pain, right? But I really thought this. So there's an Imperial officer, and he's taunting this woman about what he's going to do to her while beating her. It's horrible. It seems really out of place for Star Wars. I didn't like it, but it does explain her character being traumatized later in the series. He has to recover from that. I think it's completely unnecessary. You could have had him be horrifying and not have that aspect. I want to bring up a tweet from Star Wars Theory commenting on this. Alan, what did you think?
I mean, it doesn't feel Star Wars to me. This is not a Star Wars thing. I know they're pushing some of the boundaries. This is a very different tone and style than the Star Wars movies. I was trying to be much more adult, but at the same time, look, there is torture that goes on in this show. And, I think it's enough, the things that they put people through, that you don't actually have to go out and assault one of them in this way. As you say, unnecessary. It's out of character for the series. I get it's a horrible aspect of life, but you don't have to include every aspect of life in your Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, in a fantasy sci-fi universe, we don't necessarily need it.
We're going to get a pedo next? I mean, it's not Star Wars.
I don't want to see all that. Look, here's from Real SW Theory. That's Star Wars Theory on X. SA in Star Wars feels unnecessary. You can portray power dynamics and making the audience hate the Empire in other ways without taking it to such a disgusting place. Vader wouldn't tolerate that shit, nor does the Empire condone it. It has no place in Star Wars, period. Unnecessary. I will say this. It wasn't really SA, but in episode 3, which opens in re-release this weekend, actually, Revenge of the Sith, we do see Anakin assault Padme by force choking her, not in a SA way, but an assault. But it's not like violence is not a part of Star Wars, but that kind, I think Star Wars Theory is right. I agree with him. I think it's not necessary. It took me out of it. Like, what is this doing in Star Wars? And I think part of this has to do with, we'll discuss this later. A lot of people who work on Star Wars happen to be women. And I feel like a lot of Andor season 1 and 2, there are a lot of things that feel like this is what women want to discuss or have it be a part of this universe. like a British costume melodrama, which is Mon Mothma's story. When I'm more interested in Cassian Andor and his kind of, galactic James Bond journey. But what do you think about Star Wars Theory's comment?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. It's not like sex is a part of Star Wars either.
Yeah, it's not. It's very
yeah. There's kissing and there's coupling up, holding hands and things like that. That's about as far as.
That's about it.
Yeah, and look, we were fine with it for 40 years. We're fine with it now. It's just, I think Star Wars Theory is absolutely right. It's just out of place.
Yeah,
so much worse things happen in this that feels Star Wars. Torture is part of Star Wars. Messing around with people's minds is a part of Star Wars, not sex.
Yeah, I just think it's to that degree that it's just not necessary. I think also this may turn people off to the show.
See, I would, having said everything we said, it's such, we're talking 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. I think people will generally forget about it because it's not like it was, it was television. It was Law and Order type graping.
Yeah, but also we don't need everything to be included in Star Wars. It's a fantasy universe. And while I'm sure those types of events you could argue have occurred in that universe, we don't need to see it. I also think it really takes it. I really think that any kids that may want to see the show, it might be too much for them. So the one thing I am surprised about, what did you notice if there was a trigger warning for that scene or that beginning of that episode?
I think because we got screeners, they didn't put the trigger warnings on them.
Yeah, but there might be.
I heard there was.
There was? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Let's go to comments.
All right. Captain Salty. Disney just can't help themselves. Absolutely. Oh, down the road. Wait. When we get to spoilers. Thomas Pickett 5. In the Star Wars universe, Padme touched foreheads with Anakin to become pregnant. There is no evidence they had genitals.
Well, definitely after Mustafar.
Laura thoughts, sex should not be a part of Star Wars, violent or otherwise.
I agree, Lord Thoth.
That's why I was just.
Yeah.
Grambo. Tony Gilroy's in the wrong Star series. He is better suited for Star Trek. I don't even know that I want that in Star Trek.
But sex was more a part of Star Trek than Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Trek is more adult, and Captain Kirk was a galactic pussy hound.
Yeah. Star Trek wasn't sex obsessed. It was more about love and romance than sex.
Oh, really? You don't know do you know anything about Gene Roddenberry?
Yeah, but it wasn't okay, the old series, yes.
Original series. Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah, the original series are great too.
Gene Roddenberry was effectively a swinger. It was the swinging 60s, and a lot of the original Star Trek series is very sexual.
Yeah.
Even Next Gen. I mean,
Next Gen,
Riker, come on, man.
He was a ladies' man, but he wasn't, how many times he woke up next to someone in bed, maybe a handful of times. I don't remember it, okay, there was Bashir and Kira Nerys in Deep Space Nine, but that's kind of the extent of it all. I could be wrong. It's been a long time. And so many episodes. So many episodes. Bruce Lee Roy Jenkins for 2. Does Manny Bothans make an appearance in this season? I forgot what that was.
Thomas Pickett. Manny Bothans died to bring us this information. That's in Return of the Jedi, though.
Yeah.
So
Thomas Pickett for 2. I guess Alan has never gone through Pumfar.
Yeah, you never have. You're not.
Was that a sex ceremony though? I thought that was more of a adolescence type puberty thing. It wasn't like an orgy, a Vulcan orgy. Sassy 77. I'm a woman and I don't want this in my Star Wars. Exactly.
It just seemed, and I will say this, I do give them credit for having really well-rounded, strong female characters.
Oh, yeah. Alan Horkin, Bix was already horribly tortured in season 1. I hope her character actually gets to do something more interesting than suffer. 200 watt studios for 2. Gilroy trying to make his boss Harvey smile. Ooh.
Thank you.
Sign 69. Even though I don't agree with it in the show, I think it should have never been in it. My biggest problem is the whole "we're all a product of grape" statement.
Yeah, it's a weird. Yeah. He's trying to make a weird point. I feel that also. I'm not trying to defend Tony Gilroy. I think it was a really misguided statement. Mm-hmm. It's really wrong-headed, but I think he's trying to appeal to people in the media that are very far left.
He's definitely being provocative in that statement.
And
he got the headline. He got the headline.
Yeah, he got the headline.